All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. My name is Jen White. I'm the Director of Student Engagement at the Manufacturing Institute and kind of lead the national effort for MFG Day. And today we are here to talk about sponsorship opportunities. So really excited that you all are interested in wanting to learn more and really highlighting to students and educators what modern manufacturing is. So today I have with me Danny Gorman, who is our Director of Sponsor Operations and Strategic Partnerships at the National Association of Manufacturers. They are our partner who help us with the sponsorship realm. So today we're going to talk about an overview of MFG Day and the relationship to the Manufacturing Institute, the benefits of sponsoring the National MFG Day initiative. We'll talk about the different types of sponsorships. This year we have event sponsorships as well as promotional sponsorships, and then some next steps and some Q&A. So just to bring a little clarity around everything, if you're not familiar, MFG Day is an initiative of the Manufacturing Institute, which is the 501c3 nonprofit workforce development and education affiliate to the National Association of Manufacturers. So MFG Day sponsorships kind of fall under that realm. Hosting local events, however, this is something we really want to clarify for you, that you can host a local event. You can use the MFG Day branding that you can find on our mfgday.com site. You can register your events through mfgday.com, and you have full access to use all the resources that are available on the website 100% free. You do not have to be an MFG Day sponsor to have access and be able to use those things. So we just wanted to make sure that you all are aware of that. There is no purchasing required for any of that. So I'm at this point going to turn it over to my friend Danny to talk about the benefits of sponsorship.
Jen, thanks so much. Yeah, we wanted to make sure that you kind of knew some of the highlights of what's included with this sponsorship, particularly being involved with the Manufacturing Institute. So we call Manufacturing Day our white hat program, something that everyone kind of can get behind. With manufacturing and apple pie kind of goes together hand in hand. With that comes positive brand association, obviously coming together to organize with Manufacturing Day as well as the Manufacturing Institute, which has a positive sentiment for bringing together students, teachers, parents, and people across the manufacturing ecosystem to promote the positive work that's happening that you all know about, but making sure that that gets spread to sort of everyone around the nation. This initiative also supports your HR communications, your CSR and public relations objectives. So helping improve those perceptions of what manufacturing careers look like today and for the future, while leveraging what Manufacturing Day's track record has within your community. So if you're someone who has hosted a Manufacturing Day event before or has seen Manufacturing Day events around the country, this is certainly helping to create that positive impact of what manufacturing careers look like today and for the future, but also exposing your company as somebody who's willing to kind of open their doors and showcase what that looks like today. And as we know, the old myth of dark, dirty, and dangerous is no longer applicable. So making sure that that is spotlit across all of the initiatives that Manufacturing Day has to offer. The last piece here is targeted visibility. So we have logo placements and mention on Manufacturing Day owned properties, which includes some arms under the MI as well as the NAM brands. The Manufacturing Institute social media outlets will be highlighting all of our partners throughout this season of Manufacturing Day, and then being able to share some content that is distributed to those folks in our channels. So those are some of the highlights.
Get myself under control with the mute button here. You'd think I'd have it down by now. Thanks, Danny, for talking about that. So to hop in, the first type of sponsorship that we're going to talk about is the MFG Day event sponsorships. And it's very much what it probably sounds like to you, where we would work with these sponsors to host an event. And there's several different I guess, deliverables within that package. Now, what we're not going to do today is talk through each individual line item, but we will be sharing out these slides actually right at the end of the webinar with all of you who attended live. So you'll be able to look over all of these more specifically and see if there is kind of a sponsorship level that you would be most interested in. But we have 3 different levels of MFG Day event sponsorships, and these are limited availability. These would happen all within the first 2 weeks of October. And you can see on this page that all of these things listed right here are actually included in all 3 of the event sponsorship levels. And then each slide has additional things or specific details kind of broken out to each of those. So first we have our platinum event sponsors. And again, these are going to be events in the sense of a facility tour. The focus for MFG Day and for these events specifically would be more of the middle school and high school age student groups, as well as those educators. That doesn't mean that it has to be limited to just that. There could also be some additional participants, but these events would include invitations based on the different package level with media groups and VIPs who may be representatives, government representatives, education representatives, to really help amplify the message of MFG Day, but also your company's support of the initiative as well. So again, I'm not going to go through all of these things that are listed on here. You'll be able to do that and take a look more specifically yourself. But we will have time for question and answers at the end as well. So we have the platinum event sponsor. Those events would happen in the first week of October. And then to really kind of kick off the season, if you will. Then we also have a gold event sponsor that would happen within the first 2 weeks of October, as well as the silver event sponsor that would also happen within those 2 weeks. I do want to clarify, though, that the gold and the silver event sponsors those events would not be on MFG Day itself, October 6th this year. So in addition then to the event sponsorships, what some of you, especially if you've been interested or potentially sponsored in the past, might be more familiar with, are what we are referring to as our promotional sponsorships. So I'm going to turn it back over to Danny to speak of those.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, if you have seen our prospectus from manufacturing days in the past, these packages and levels will look very similar to you. We have added some enhancements. Again, I'm not going to go through every single level of detail on here, but Jen, why don't we flip over and I will talk through some of the platinum level sponsor details. So really kind of what this highlights is your company logo featured, having a custom sort of spotlight in our NAM daily newsletter that goes out Tuesday through Friday, the NAM input, as well as kind of bringing back our manufacturing day newsletter that goes to every single host of manufacturing day events around the country. We are going to be launching some content graphics that are included for students and educators to really highlight some of those amazing facts about what manufacturing looks like today. And then having some information distributed to federal and state policymakers to really highlight your participation with this, as we like to call it, a national holiday. We also have some joint press releases that, I shouldn't say press release, a press release that we announce with your sponsorship, as well as digital placements throughout our social media. Yeah, let's look at that gold sponsorship. So this kind of dials in a little bit obviously platinum and then gold, kind of bringing in those company logos and features with the email newsletter, as well as some of our other newsletters, manufacturing specific content. Those graphics come back again, as well as the joint press release and a few smaller placements, but still highlighted throughout our manufacturing day digital channels. And then the silver sponsorship, really kind of dialing in sort of the key points here of your logo, newsletter placement, as well as digital channel placements throughout the manufacturing day social.
And Danny, one thing to maybe highlight is as we go through these promotional sponsorships, as you'll see again, the platinum and the gold sponsorships are limited availability as well. But silver and below are unlimited on how many of those we can offer.
Yep. So here's where, if you are somebody who wants to support Manufacturing Day, but may not be able to come in at some of those higher tier levels, we wanted to offer everyone the opportunity of being a supporter of Manufacturing Day this year, which is, I want to say new and improved, but it's really improved. If you've been around for a while, we used to have something similar to our Friend of Manufacturing Day in this bronze promotional sponsor, kind of, gosh, let's see, 2017 and before. So if you've been around that long, we're bringing it back. This is really the opportunity for you to say, I am a supporter of Manufacturing Day and the initiatives that happen all year round, and being able to give back to the cause. At the bronze level, we do have a couple of pieces that are sort of enhancements, if you will. But really at that Friend of Manufacturing Day level is a donation to the Manufacturing Institute and the work of Manufacturing Day specifically. So having your name and company listed and being in a couple of placements throughout the Manufacturing Day channels, but really being able to put your stamp of saying, I support this initiative, want to see Manufacturing Day amplified around the country, and share the good work of what manufacturing is doing throughout your communities.
So that was a very quick overview, but again, we're going to share these slides out so you can go through each of those details included in each package and sponsorship level yourselves. And then we will be sending out, in addition, next week, a follow-up email that will also include the full MFG Day 2023 sponsorship prospectus document as well. And then what we would like, so Chris unfortunately wasn't able to be on today. He's also one of our partners that we work with on MFG Day sponsorships, but you are welcome to reach out to Chris or Danny or myself. Now, I will let you know I'm going to be on vacation next week. So I would, if you're looking to connect on this soon, I would reach out to Chris or Danny on that note. But otherwise, you can reach out to any of us if you want to discuss further, dig a little deeper into some of the particulars. However, we do have a form on mfgday.com under Get Involved, where you can go in, you can complete that form to express your interest in sponsoring MFG Day, and someone from our team will reach out to you that way as well. And then we have a little like drop down where you can select the sponsorship package that you think you may be most interested in. So with that, I would love to open the floor to questions if anybody is interested or has anything to share. And while we do that, and then also in that follow-up email, I will send the recording of the session as well. Very quiet. No questions.
And if you have questions about manufacturing day in general, I think we're willing to answer some of those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah, I think it's difficult without seeing all the details, because that was a very quick overview.
Yep.
But just understanding how the social media, um, there was mention about digital channels, up to 5 placements. Some of them was more placements, but what that really means, and understanding like what are the differences between the levels. But maybe once we get more information, that might answer some of the questions, but just understanding what some of those things mean.
yeah, that's a really good point, Nicole, and we're happy to talk through that as well. What we didn't want to do was read every single kind of line item to you there.
Right.
But if we look, let me go back actually to, I'm just going to go to the platinum because that is kind of the most inclusive of the levels, and we can kind of talk through what some of these different items would actually look like. And so looking, all sponsors are going to be somehow highlighted on mfgday.com. Like if you would go to the sponsor page right now, we're still highlighting our 2022 sponsors for the support that they provided. That will change very soon. However, certain levels would be featured with either, a logo, and then as we get down to the bronze and the Friends of MFG Day, that would be really a list of each of those folks. The looking at the manufacturing specific content graphics. So we're really, if you look at the MFG Day social channels, there's a lot of content out there, but the goal of MFG Day is to change perceptions, to get students interested and excited in the possibilities of careers in manufacturing, and really kind of spark those investigative skills to go out and dive deeper, right? To see how can my skills and my interests and things align with a career in manufacturing. And so those manufacturing specific content graphics will really target kind of like the student educator population on social media, rather than just kind of a broad blast, if you will, trying to share with them those things that we think would be of interest, maybe they weren't aware of, that would drive them to look a little more deeply into careers in the industry. And what that would look like then is the graphic is very, I want to say general, right, to manufacturing or a specific career field or whatever, but then it would recognize the sponsor as the almost, I don't like, imagine like a brought to you by or a powered by so-and-so. So it's not a graphic that's specific to you, that company, and something happening inside that company. It's that sponsor is providing the information, the general manufacturing information. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
And then the like where it says the 30 placements on MFG Day digital channels. So that would be more general messaging to MFG Day. Sometimes it focuses on, like resharing something from the company. Sometimes it's a thank you to this sponsor, but your company's name would be on those social channels in one way, shape, or another, that specific number of times throughout not just throughout October. It would start even prior to that once we identify those sponsors. But those would continue to run through the end of October 2023. Does that help clarify some of that?
Yes.
Okay. Are there other areas that I can provide clarity for anyone? And again, it's a lot of information to take in as well. So that's why I wanted to provide those slides to you all today, to be able to take the time and reach out and ask, those questions specifically as well if they come up.
Hey, I have a question. This is Erin Gunning from Schneider Electric.
Erin?
I did join a few minutes late, so if this was shown, I feel bad, but I was having Zoom trouble. I am very new to Manufacturing Day as a whole, so is there more, and maybe you went over it, so apologies, but like what the day looks like and how the kids get there and the engagement and all of that, like setting one up, like the basics. I'm new to the whole topic.
Okay. I got you, Erin. So it really depends, because I always say all the time, there's no one size fits all for an MFG Day event. And we do have some planning webinars that are already, like the recordings are already available on the mfgday.com resources page. So I'm happy to share those over with you, or you can click over there and see those already. But those webinars help kind of break down what different events can look like. But a lot of times MFG Day events are really kind of a partnership, because you have to identify that target audience, which typically is going to be, students, really K-12. I've seen events, down even with first and second graders, but typically they focus more on middle and high school, and sometimes even bring in, community college, tech school students as well. But a lot of times, like I said, it's that partnership where you're building that relationship with the schools, you're working with them. They may, if the event is during a school day, almost like a field trip style, where the students are bused over to the facility, they come through, they get a tour of the facility. There's, a hands-on activity to get them involved, and to see a little bit more in depth the types of skills that are needed in the industry, or the teamwork that's necessary, or the critical thinking, whatever it might be. And there can be different things that happen throughout that event as well. So that's more of the event style, or the tour style. But then there's also community style events, or events where multiple manufacturers will even work together and host something to bring students in and allow them to see multiple types of manufacturing or multiple companies in one space or general location. And even celebrations. It can be a variety of things, but again, those webinars kind of dig into that in more detail. And then we also have the host toolkit that breaks some of those things down as well. And I can actually pop the link to that toolkit in the chat for everyone also. Do we have any other questions while I work to find that link?
I'll chime in a little bit here. My name's Jim Champion. I'm with Metro Community College in Omaha. But we do a manufacturing day every year, and we invite our industry partners to come to the college and partner with us to do hands-on activities with the students. So I'd recommend maybe checking with your local community college to see if they do something similar.
Yes, that's a great point, Jim. Thank you. And one of the things too, I'll note is our next webinar. So we have kind of a series of planning and preparation webinars. We've done the first two already, and the next one will be June 15th. That's called Making the Most of Your Event, but it's really about sharing best practices. And we'll have some seasoned MFG Day event hosts of different types of events and sizes as well, that'll be on to kind of share what they do or have done in the past, lessons that they have learned over time, kind of the school and community relationship building, and how they capture or gauge the impact of their events as well. So definitely would encourage you all to, whether it's you or somebody within your company that might be helping to organize events, encourage you to attend that webinar. If you're not able to attend live in person, definitely register for it, because we will send out the recording and the slides from it afterwards as well.
This is Adam Blackford from Agilent Technologies, and I'm exploring the possibility of having an event on our site, and I think highlighting some of the wonderful things that manufacturing has to offer folks today. But I guess I'm not understanding what's the difference between hosting an event and sponsoring. Do you have to sponsor to host an event? Can you host without sponsorship? Should you be doing both?
Well,
No,
we would encourage you to do both, but no, you absolutely do not need to be a sponsor in order to host an event. Sponsorship is really if you want to go above and beyond and be able to highlight your company as a partner with Manufacturing Day at a level that provides some visibility for your company beyond being listed as a host. So we encourage you to host. We love our hosts, and we absolutely hope that you do open your doors in whatever way that looks like for Manufacturing Day on October 6th or any day surrounding there.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah. And Adam, there's going to be thousands of events across the country. You know, like Danny said, we would love for all of them to sponsor and really put their name on MFG Day, but we understand that may not be a good fit for everyone, or they may not have the ability. But yes, we definitely still want you to open your doors to students and educators and community members to really highlight the work that's happening. And that's the magic of MFG Day, is it really is a grassroots initiative in a sense, where it wouldn't be nearly as effective without all of the great work that's happening out in communities across the United States. But really, we're helping to drive awareness to that, to amplify the work that you all are doing, and to bring, you know, the resources to get more and more companies involved and support that work at a greater level. So thank you for that question. And I did pop the link to that host toolkit into the chat if anybody still needed that.
I have two questions. Excuse me. This is Lori Coker with LP Corporation. We've celebrated Manufacturing Day within our plants for the last several years, and we set up all of our own like tours with the trade schools and the colleges to come on site. And so my first question is there a benefit for us to register our events if they're kind of closed to those groups that we personally invite? Mm-hmm. And then my second question is, could you give us a little bit, I don't understand what the digital channel is and how that works. Could you explain that a little better?
Sure. So going back to your first question, the benefits of registering, because again, that is 100% free. You don't have to sponsor to register your event on mfgday.com. But there's several benefits to doing so, whether it's an open event, open to the public, or whether it's closed in that you have already kind of sourced and I guess identified and invited that target audience that you're reaching for there. You can mark your event that it's not open to the public. So there's no registration link or way for the public to kind of, well, register online for your event. So you shouldn't have random people showing up, anything like that. But what it does is, first off, it puts you on that map We use that map in a variety of ways. Sometimes we do have teachers that reach out looking for an event for their students, and that may not be a fit for you, but it could also be a good connection point in the future. We also use it to connect government officials with manufacturing events that are happening within their community. You might or might not be surprised at the number of government officials that don't know a whole lot about the industry as well. And so it's an opportunity to educate them and to kind of bring that awareness for their platform as well. And then really, like I mentioned earlier, MFG Day is magical because there's so many different individual companies and groups and communities that are all, while these successful local events are happening across the country, it's the fact that so many are doing these all at similar times or in similar ways, but we're all working towards a common goal of inspiring the next generation of manufacturers. So in registration, you also are helping bring that awareness to the good work that's happening. And you can kind of look at the map and you see those neighborhoods even where there's just a ton of different things happening. And even if you're not in one of those communities, you stand out on the map and you can say, you know, we really are working to make a change towards the greater community, manufacturing community effort as well. So I hope that helps with that one. And then going to the MFG Day digital channels, think social media, any web-based platform, essentially. So our digital channels for MFG Day include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And so those 30 placements would go out across those social channels, is what I might call them as well.
Would, and that would do, what you're saying then is that would include then like our logo or our name listed or something that we're a sponsorship.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we also advertise it on LinkedIn. This would just, do you tag us or?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. If you were to sponsor at any of the levels, we would ask for you to provide us with whichever social channels that you would like to be tagged with and use that towards some of those placements.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's one of the benefits is those MFG Day, those social channels are reaching a variety of audiences, I guess you would say, and it's really a nationwide audience. Sometimes even beyond nationwide. One thing I wanted to add, because I think we have a few folks on today as well. I remember I had some questions in registration about whether companies or facilities that are outside of the United States can participate. I know we had a few in Canada for sure. 100% yes. Yes. Yes.
We've had Canada, we've had Mexico. The more the merrier for Manufacturing Day.
Right. And I was going to say our partners in North America are just as important to us. Any other questions? All right, and I don't see anything else in the chat. So we'll give you all some time to, again, kind of review those slides. Please feel free to reach out if you have questions. Again, the form, which is linked in the website or in the slide deck as well. So you can just click on that hot link if you'd like to. But that form is an easy way for you to reach out and kind of raise your hand or even just to inquire further if you're not sure that you're ready to sponsor MFG Day. We're still happy to have those conversations. All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time to attend today, and we look forward to chatting with you more.
Thank you so much.